musically, what are you using, man?
I've gone through so much of that same kind of crap, and I really like to have an amp and a chord and a bass. That's pretty much it for me. And live, I'm still I'm a firm believer in wedges. I really like. I'm not an in-ear guy. I like just being hardwired and have a monitor in front of me. So I'm pretty basic. For amps, I've been with a company called Euphonic Audio for many years now, and I love their gear. And I've pretty much got all the gear I'll ever need sitting in my garage right now. So if anybody wants to come over and take it, it's there. And then for basses, for touring, I'm pretty much using my Dingwall 5-string on that. I've got a signature model with them and a signature model with Warwick for a semi-acoustic 4-string. And that's it. At home, in the studio, I would bring my old Frankenstein bass, which is right here. And that's like 90% everything I've ever played is on that instrument. But I try to keep it real simple. I remember on an early tour I did with Phil Collins, they were talking about going wireless on it. And I plugged in, and it was interesting. But I asked the sound guy, I said, would it be okay if I just went back to hardwire? And he went, thank you. Because, man, it's just so much richer. The bass is just so much better when you got a cable going in. So I keep my, I've dumped a load of gear that I just, don't use at all. I got a few pedals that I'll take to the studio. I've got some I'm going to bring next week for us that I'm going to experiment a little bit with on some of the new stuff. But I only use a pedal if it's absolutely called for on a specific song, and that's it. So.
Well, we're going to use a bunch of different stuff on the next stuff we record and see what comes. I want to do some experimentation.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a bunch of different stuff for that, just to
me
see
too.
what.
I'm bring some. It's funny you say about the in-ears. I was using when we started playing. I was using the in-ear for my voice, and we recorded one show where I had that in, and then we recorded another show where I went back to the wedge, and I was singing way better and pitched way better with the wedge. When it was just here, it was so isolated from the tonal center, and then when it was coming out of the wedge, I could really mix in. So, you can't hear yourself quite as well, but it just in the end, I feel it's more musical coming out of
I felt like I was I feel like I'm in a band when I'm using a wedge. I'm still hearing amps and sound pressure in the room.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, as soon as I've had to use in-ears a couple of times, like doing Grammy shows and things like that, where you can't have like cues and stuff coming through the head through a wedge. And I just feel like I'm in the studio with those in, and suddenly you got headphones on. I mean, everybody's different. That's just my spin for myself. Some people just absolutely love them and can't work without them.
So you're saying when we play live, you can hear the amps? You can hear the guitar amps?
More than I ever trained. Yeah, I can't get enough of you guys. That's it. I wish Russ would just turn down so I could hear more guitar.
Yeah, Rusty, what about you, brother?
Well, I'm playing DW drums, and John Good and Don Lombardi made me 2 beautiful kits about 3 years ago. The kit that I use most of the time is it's called a Contemporary Classic, and it's a throwback to the 60s Gretsch and Ludwig kits. It's made of mahogany and poplar, but they figured out a way to use the poplar in much thinner laminates, so it's stronger. Those kits from the 60s tend to go out around a little bit, so they made it a little stronger, and loving playing the drums. They're fantastic. Playing Paiste cymbals, Modern Essentials is the kind of the name of the kind of cymbal I'm playing. Innovative percussion sticks. Audio-Technica microphones when I need to use my own mics and stuff. And I have a special surprise since this is Gear Day on TIF Talk.
Ooh.
I got this in the mail the other day, It was a gift from John Good at DW Drums, and it's my own signature snare drum.
Hey, ooh, pretty.
And
Look at that.
this wood is, if you can see it, that's my inches. The wood is Babinga, and the light colored wood that you see in that thing, and that insignia is 3 times on the drum. Around the light colored wood is a kind of maple, but I don't know if you can see this. It's
beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. It's great.
And Danny asked me the other day. He said, "So when we go in the studio, I want you to bring a nice deep drum, so that we can on some songs so we can tune it way down." So that's the one I'm going to bring. But when they sent this, I mean, you can't. This drum company is just amazing. They sent this with it. As you can see, it says.
Nice.
It's specially made for me, and it says what it's made out of. The maple is bird's eye maple, and as I said, it's African Babinga is the other wood, and it's called the Exotic Monogram Snare Drum.
Beautiful.
That's great. Brain, and it sounds amazing right out of the box. So we're gonna have fun with that. So
great. I can't wait to hear it.
At any time.
As far as like any other effects or anything like on the drums, I mean, in the section days, I had all the stuff. I had Barkersberry pickups on my cymbals. I had a whole outboard rack of samples and triggers on all the drums, and we did all that crazy stuff. But eventually, I just threw all that away and just went back to, basically just acoustic drums. And the only other thing I'm playing now is this great thing that LP made for me, because I endorse Latin percussion. It's called a Box Kit Pro, and it's basically a rectangle that sits in front of you. You sit on a seat or a cajon, and it's all divided up into different sections, and you play it like it has tom-tom sounds on the side, a roughed out part on the top so you can play brushwork, and you set up a hi-hat and a cymbal with it, and it just has this real earthy, acoustic, woody sound, but you can play it like a real drum kit, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. We've used it on a couple of our videos already, so.
And we're going to be using it in the studio for sure.
And the thing about in-ears, it all depends on what instrument you're playing. For drummers, it's incredible, because for me, I'm always going to feel the drums and hear the drums because they're just so dang loud to start with, right? I need to hear everybody else really well. So when I can have in-ears in and like have Waddy on one side, Steve on the other, Danny in the middle, all the vocals in the middle, and Leland right up my bum, I can really lean into what I'm playing and then play hard because I'm hearing everybody really loud. I can see for a vocalist how it's either going to work or it's not going to work. Some vocalists love using in-ears, and some just go, forget it, I can't even do it. And so, but for me, they work great, when we play. It makes it easier for me to really get inside the pocket. So
everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's needs are different. So.